Okay. Good morning. It's another lovely Saturday, and you are welcome to another riveting edition of the Book Review Show right here on Precious TV. And I am your hostess, Caroline Owusu Asamoah. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all those who wished me a happy birthday. My birthday was last week, and you guys made it awesome. Shout out to my crew and everybody else. Well, today we are looking at a great book. It's geared towards children, and it has a very interesting look or inspiration behind it. And my guest for today is Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah, or Nii Edu. We'll find out more about him. But he's a writer, he's a teacher, he's a musician, he's a dancer. We'll see his dance moves later. Who was born in Stockholm, Sweden in 1981. So there you go, you know his age. He grew up with parents that were deeply entrenched in the traditional arts of the Ga people from Ghana. As performers, they traveled a lot, which exposed him to, different aspects of life. I'll not read everything. He'll tell us more about that. That's why he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Stevie Nii Adu or Edu.
Adu.
So I got it right. It's the Ga Adu,
yes.
Not the tree Edu.
Exactly.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Good
The same.
morning.
Good morning.
How has your week been?
My week has been very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
And
What have
busy.
you been up to?
I've been working a lot with the book in schools because that's what I normally do. From Monday to Friday, I go to different schools and I read and I share the subjects for the students to work around the subjects of the book.
Okay, all right. So now, you are a writer.
Yes.
You're a teacher.
Mhm.
You're a musician. You're a dancer.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know where to start from. Tell us about, maybe briefly about these four things that you do.
Okay.
You've spoken a bit about the teaching, where you go around teaching the kids some important lessons in your book. But
True.
Musician, dancer, tell us a bit about that.
Well, the musical aspect and the dancing aspect came from my childhood.
Okay.
Both my mother and my father were artists and performers.
Okay.
And they were traveling around different places, different venues, different countries from a young age. So that's something that I saw from early and something that I also took when I started to venture out in life. I started break dancing in the late 80s.
Hey.
And actually before the break dancing, which came in about age 6, 7, since my parents were dancing traditional dances, Panlogo, like me, myself, I was, doing those dances as well. But, at that time, we wanted to do the cool thing of the time. So breakdances was the thing that became my thing, yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, so now the music. What kind of music are you into? Do you play any instruments?
Oh, yeah. My main instrument is keyboards. And that is also something that I've done for now almost 20 years. And I started with drums, traditional drums, because of my father. And singing is something that also came into my life quite early. And mostly because of my writing, actually, because I started writing before I started pursuing music, poetry, but then I started singing gospel. And that got me to turn my poetry into songs.
Wow, great. Okay, so in case you just tuned in, it's the Book Review Show right here on Precious TV, and we are with Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah, aka Mr. Iskodo. So that's the book we're looking into. It's about two little girls, 9 and 10, age 9.
Both 9.
Both 9, yeah. And the whole book talks about bullying, and we're going to delve deeper into it. But you can join us via text or WhatsApp on 020-343-8710. That's 020-343-8710. We are live on Facebook. Just go to Precious TV or the Book Review Show GH. Yeah, so now let's look at Ama and Euphoria. They are best friends.
Yes.
Who live outside Accra. Actually, I didn't read the blurb before reading the book, so
Okay.
I thought they were living in Accra.
Yes.
So after I'd finished reading the book and I saw that, they're actually living outside Accra.
It's
Tell us about the story.
okay. I would say that it's at the end of Accra, if you can say,
Like
like
Nungwa or
yeah, almost being like, I would, yeah, around like that Nungwa coming to Tema area. So that is how I'm saying that. Okay, it's outside Accra, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
around Accra,
It's
not
around.
in central Accra.
Oh, okay, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Now, what's the inspiration behind It's Cold, oh?
Okay. The inspiration behind It's Kodo is basically the energy that we give people is the energy that we get back. And because of how Amma and Euphoria are friends, but when Euphoria starts third class, she gets new friends, and those new friends, they bully Amma because of her gray hair. And that creates tension. Euphoria starts to say things to Amma that her new friends are saying to her subconsciously. And the whole It's Coldo thing comes from giving someone the cold shoulder.
Okay.
And that's how the whole idea came, by when we mistreat people, it creates tension and, negative tension, both for the person who gets teased and the person who teases. Because they will go home and say, oh, why did I do this? To some extent. And the more that they are going away from the problem, it's almost like the problem grows.
Wow, so now, I don't know whether it's coincidental that you have gray hair and one of the characters in the book has gray hair. So is it about you in an indirect way? Tell us about it. Is it about you?
Good question. I think that, subconsciously it's about me. I didn't write it to be like, okay, this is me in another character. But, gray hair is something that, every time I look in the mirror, I see. So surely, in some way, there is, fragments of me in Amma.
In there. So now, before we delve deeper, what was you said you were bullied in school? Can you tell us about that? I know it's a hard thing you went through. Just I know it's quite emotional, but can you share it with us?
I mean, it's been so long, so it's not too hard for me to talk about it. Growing up and schooling in Sweden in the 80s was very problematic in many ways, but mainly because of the skin, of the brown, black skin that we have at a time when, the racial tension was quite, difficult. And the school I went to, the first year or so, I was like the only person of color.
The first year, you were the only person.
The first year, there were people that came from other countries that had like darker skin than the normal white, but I was definitely the darkest.
Like, wow.
Yes. And then, later on, more people with brown skin came. But I would say that the first 2 years was very difficult. People were being very, judgmental. And for them, they only copied what their parents said and did, because that's usually how it is. Once you are that age, 7, 8, you don't know so much about what goes around in other countries, etc. So you get what your parents tell you, which also made me realize that, okay, once I interact with them, somehow they will open up and understand that I'm just like you. And that is kind of how I coped, which is also similar to the character Amma in the book, because she is not that much pressed about the situation of her getting called Yomu and being bullied, because she knows that one day they will grow up and become, good people. So the trust in humanity and, seeing things from a different perspective is what got me through.
Wow, wow. Wow, what a great book on anti-bullying. So, in case you just tuned in, it's the book review show right here on Precious TV, and we're looking at It's Cold,
Hey.
with with Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. We are trying to figure out what led to the book, what he's been up to, and what he hopes the book achieves. You can join us via text or WhatsApp 0203438710, or just visit our Facebook page Precious TV or the Book Review Show GH. At the appropriate time, we'll take some calls, so just hold the fort. Now let's look at the characterization.
Yes.
How did you come up with the characters? Amma, Euphoria, Mr. Salam, the uncle, Mrs. Salam.
Yeah.
How did you come about with the characters? Is it people around who inspired you? Maybe your mother is Miss Salam,
Yeah.
your dad is Mr. Salam, or something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it's people around, everything from, the characters in school, which is, Euphoria, Amma, the bullies, Miss Akusia. There's so many people that have traits of people that I've seen in real life. And I basically wanted to write characters that had compassion, but also had traits that, is seen as negative traits. And, every single character has that. And at some point in the trilogy, because this is the first book, you will see the traits of the characters, the full trait.
Okay. That's so. Now let's look at bullying.
Yes.
You go around trying to sensitize kids about bullying and all that. What are some of the stories you get? What are some of the worst cases of bullying? What are some of the mild cases? How should a parent handle a child who's being bullied?
Great question. I have seen so many things because at this time I've been to more than 15 schools, Accra, Kumasi, Stockholm, Sweden, and I've seen that, people have similar stories as me, feeling that there's no one in the world that can save them from the horrendous things they are going through. And I would say that I won't mention like a specific case, but there are many cases of children not going to school, staying home because of the torment they are going through in schools. And I've had children come up to me and want to address me in private about the things that they are going through that they've never told anyone, not even at home. Where you have parents who are, wondering why they are acting up, why they are skipping school, but they might not have that connection with their children for them to, open up. So, but I think what parents can do is to, be in connection with their child and try to, more than just be a parent, be a friend, talk to them every day, and not in a way where, oh, mommy, you are bothering me right now. More than like, how's school? Like, in a light way, but still in a way where the child feels that you are always connected.
But how does the parent become a friend to the child when you see nowadays parents are hardly at home?
True.
It's either by the time the child wakes up, they are gone. When they come back, they're already asleep. On weekends, we're going to this event or the other.
Yeah.
On Sunday, maybe we go to church, we come, and then it's like in the whole week we've spent. You can literally count the number of hours you've spent with the children.
True.
What's the alternative? Is there an alternative anyway?
I would say social networks and the times we live in is not only negativity. I know sometimes or a lot of times we just say, oh, it was better before, back in the days. But I think that through all these social networks and you know, phones and WhatsApp, it's easier to be in connection with the child. So, I mean, you just calling, sending a text, writing on Facebook, you are showing the child that you are there, you care. Because back in the days, let's say if the mother went to work early, dropped the child off at school, went to work, and came home late, it's like there was no way the child would feel that, okay, that my parent is there for me or caring for me. But because of social networks, it's easy to just give out a message. I love you. I want to see you when I come home. I'm thinking of you. I hope you've eaten. You can show that type of affection still through social networks, and that makes the child feel wanted.
Okay, now let's look at this case where the child is too young to use a tablet, a mobile
Yes.
phone, like Euphoria and Amma. Let's look at them. How do you do that? Because they don't have these gadgets.
Yes.
How do you improvise?
Okay. I would say that you can still impact this. Let's say that you have very little time to connect with the child.
Yeah.
You can still impact the child in those rare moments, and let the child know that, okay, these are the important things, and get to the, I want to say, meat of the problem very early, and give them your wisdom, what you know, and let it linger in them, because then it'll be like, I gave you this education, this skill, this life lesson, and you will always carry it with you, whether we meet very often or not.
Wow. Okay, I think I'll take that. In case you just tuned in, it's the book review show right here on Precious TV, and we're looking at Escodo by Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. The title just keeps you smiling. You can join us via text or WhatsApp on 020-343-8710. Send us a text or a WhatsApp, or just visit Facebook. If you are not near a TV set, just visit Facebook, Precious TV, or the Book Review Show GH. We'll take phone calls after we go on a commercial break, so just hold your phone. Be patient with us. We will definitely take it. Okay, so now let's look at the influence your parents had on you. How were they there to support you when you were being bullied? Now we were talking about attention, parents having time to talk to the children.
Yes.
Were your parents there? And I don't know if I read if Mrs. Salam had some knowledge about what Amma was going through in school.
Exactly. Mrs. Salam in the book is actually trying to make the problem into something that is not a problem, by saying that it's a genetic gift that her own mother was blessed with, so it's in the lineage of her family, and this makes Amma feel that, well, this is a part of me. And just like I said, with even if you are not around your child that much, you can give them those life lessons for them to grow and to understand, well, I'm proud of my gray hair because it's a part of me. And I would say that both my parents did the same to me. And we were very different. We were a very different family, because my father, he left Ghana in 1959. And that is, 2 years after independence. that is early.
That's long
to
ago.
come to Sweden. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of black people at all. So he had lived through the hardest times. And he was telling me stories regularly. And that made me realize that, okay, maybe I'm not having it as bad, even though, I had it bad at times. But he could give me the idea of, okay, this is how you handle it. And a lot of the things that he said was, through humor, And both me and my father are comedians. Like we had funny streaks, and also through connecting to your passion. And that is something I've done all my life, and that's something that both of my parents have done, which makes life easier. And when life is easier, that makes you happy as a person. So through music, through dance, through writing, I've made peace with hard times.
Okay, so let's look at bringing your children to the fact that they have a weakness for which people laugh at them. Look, let's take having gray hair, being laughed at.
Yeah.
You said she said it was genetic or something, but we live in a world where people make fun of some things that, I mean, either a disability,
Yes.
the way someone's lips appear, their nose, how they look. How, as the parent, what exactly
Yeah.
are you supposed to do, especially when it's something that will never go and they keep being laughed at every time?
Yes.
How do you handle the situation? Because it can be very distressing. In worst cases, do you have to change schools? What do you have to do as a parent, looking at what you have gone through?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be rough to say that, well, you shouldn't, run away from the problem. Because let's say if you change schools and you come to a school and the problem even gets bigger, or, you run away and you don't face the problems. I think the most important thing is to try at least to approach the harassment differently. And, okay, if I show weakness, they'll even, attack me more. If I joke about it, if I, look at my gray hair, maybe they'll be like, oh, this is not funny. This one, yeah, she's not funny to bully. And, they will stop. But I think the most important thing is to try different ways to handle it. But obviously, you might be young, you might be sensitive, and you might not have that strength. And that's where, your parents or your guardians comes in. And also, the people that don't judge you in school, to connect with them, to also give you strength. Because it's not always that we can make peace within ourselves. That is the goal. But, it takes time to get there.
So, in this case, did your parents ever step in, came to the school, they talked to the principal, they talked to the teachers to stop, to prevent the kids from doing that? I mean, what are some of the practical steps as a parent you can take to help your child feel normal when he or she goes to school? Because he goes every day, he wakes up every day, and he dreads ever going to school because he's going to be laughed at because he's too skinny, he's too fat, he's too tall, maybe his one eye is smaller than the other, he has gray hair, she has thick lips, he has a big nose, he has big ears. What do you do? What are some of the practical steps?
I would say that the practical steps is, first getting knowledge about what the problem is. So yes, coming to school, hearing from the teachers, hearing from your children, hearing from the bullies, and getting like the whole full situation in front of you. And then also, talking with the children's parents, because like I said in the beginning, most problems and most, hatred and confusion about other people comes from the parents. They've instilled it. Oh, don't, be around this person because, they smell differently, or don't be around this person because his skin is dark, etc., etc. So I think, having a sit down, having some coffee, some muffins in the classroom. Or kenke, or banku, tilapia light soup.
You know it.
Yes, could be a great way to, connect with the parents. And then while you are connecting with the parent in class, the children, they are like, why are we even doing this? You know? But if you keep on going the same way,
Oh, good.
you know, you won't actually find the solution. Sometimes you have to try different things
Yeah.
to get to the problem and to, you know, erase the problem. So yeah, and my own parents, yes, I mean, the first years they came to school a lot. Um, Rest in peace to my father, Chief Mensah. You know, he had a very
It's late.
yes, he passed in 2010. He had a very sometimes aggressive way when you know there was a problem concerning me because he had a lot of passion, similar to me. And as a musician, he had a lot of passion, and he had you know a lot of good you know perceptions, and he wanted to do his best for his child and family. And since also he grew up in a time in Sweden where they were being very harsh to him, it almost like reminded him that wow, are things not changing? Because you know he went through these things in the 50s and the 60s. I was born in the 80s, so in the 80s and 90s, I'm still seeing these problems. You know, so sometimes he was infuriated coming to school, um, which now I would say maybe wasn't the best thing
Oh, why
because
do you say so?
you know scaring the teachers and students away. I would rather you know have a sit down, come to a conclusion, you know, have him laugh like he always laughed, you know, around me, and make them see that wow, he's a really nice guy, and you know his son is a nice guy as well. Why am I doing this? You know, because of course, I mean, you might scare someone
Yeah,
to not do it again, but
definitely. Or
but
someone else will do it.
exactly, but is that the right way to go about? Because I didn't want to um, have bad thoughts or have you know a bad relationship with my bullies. You know, if I could do as I wanted, I would you know want to be like, okay, you know what, I forgive you, and let's now get to know each other.
Each other.
You know.
Oh, interesting story out there. It's the Book Review Show, in case you just tuned in on Precious TV with me, Caroline Owusu Asamoah, and we are looking at Escodo by Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. We'll be going for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take your phones, we'll take your calls, we'll take your texts, and we'll take your WhatsApps, your Facebook messages. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so you're welcome back from that short break. It's the book review show right here on Precious TV with me, Caroline Owusu Asamoah, and I have my guest here, Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah, and we are looking at his latest book. It's called. So I think we can pick some calls and we can take some messages. So 0207 10001 is the number that you can call. 0207 10001. It's on your screen. So let's have your view on bullying. Okay. So let's continue the discussion. So now you when did you print this? When did you publish this?
I basically did, once I finished the story in 2017, I just actually went straight to schools with the raw, script. But the published book is quite recent. I basically published it just like a month ago.
Yes. Okay. All right, so we have a message here. Let's read that before we continue. Kudos, Mr. Adu. It's a hard time we realize, it's high time we realize children is a lifetime vocation. It's either you come into parenthood prepared or just refrain. This is from Baby Answer. Okay, Baby Answer. I get you right there. So he's saying that it's high time we realize raising children is it's a lifetime vocation.
It's a full-time job.
Full-time job, yes. And it's either you come into parenthood prepared or you just refrain. Do you agree with him?
I fully agree, because once you are not prepared, it's like you are behind, and then you have to catch up on things for your child, and you have other things to worry about other than your child being bullied, like paying rent, making sure that they have a great future, and taking care of your own things. So once you are not aware that I have to be strong and focused before I have my child, it will be very hard.
And you stress one important thing, that speaking to parents, parents having time for their kids is very important. I remember back in school, they used to tease me. I've changed my name because I got married. I was Jamera Teria. And they used to call me Ejamwa. Ejamwa is cat. So I got so infuriated. I felt so bad. Anytime I went home, I was sad because they were making songs out of it. Ejamwa Teria. So I went home one day and I told my dad that, Daddy, they've been calling me Caroline Cat Terrier in school. Come to the school and come and deal with them for me. And he was like, forget it. It's no big deal. They'll stop. So, and that gave me, I became extra confident, and I didn't mind them bullying or making fun of my name. And I think when we got to, that was in 3rd grade. When we got to 4th grade, they stopped, and I even forgot about it. So I think it's very important for the parents
Indeed, because your father's words gave you the vim.
Yes, more vim.
And exactly. So, it's really important, and that's why I'm saying and I'm stressing that, once the parents have seen things themselves and they give that wisdom to the child, the child will take it and since my parents said this, I can. It almost gives you like a shield to handle, your harasses.
Okay, so you can join us via text or WhatsApp 0207 10001. Sorry, you can call us on 0207 10001. My team, my crew, producer, director, share with us. Maybe you were bullied in school. I'm waiting for your message. All right, so now let's look at the plot. It starts getting cold. Why was it that suddenly the weather changed and then it started snowing? And I was surprised. I was like, why did you...
In Ghana? Snow?
Yes, snow in Ghana. Like, this one is like serious. What is this? So where did you get that from? Why did you decide to include the snow in Ghana, snowing?
That was actually like the first idea I had about the book before I came into the characters and the bullying aspect, because now times that we are talking about global warming, weather changes, and drastic things are happening around the world. It's been snowing in Hawaii, it's been snowing in places that it normally never snows. And I also wanted to connect that to the thing that I said earlier about giving someone the cold shoulder, cold
yeah.
attitude. And that's why it's Kodo. And so, yeah, I think the first time the cold breeze comes in the story is when Euphoria is thinking about saying a bad thing to Amma.
Yeah.
And after she says, they are at the dinner table and she says a bad word, or it's not a bad word, but it's a bad word when it's directed to Amma, then things really change. So it's kind of like showing how, there's consequences for your bad actions.
Wow. So you mainly put the snow in there to send a message of climate change, global warming.
Exactly.
Also, so if your actions are wrong, they lead to certain consequences.
Exactly.
So that's how come, because we don't take care of our environment properly, that's why we are having all sorts of. Because it's even raining now when it's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to rain. So that is one aspect, and another aspect, obviously, because if it was anywhere in the world snowing, maybe it wouldn't be an issue. But in Ghana, we are not prepared for snow.
At all.
You see,
I mean,
what about all the people working, selling pure water,
those who are homeless.
And which is also addressed in the book. So I wanted to have those things, snow in one of the hottest countries, basically.
Wow. So what are some of the things you communicate to the children aside bullying in the book when you go on your tour? What are the things you tell them? What other lessons are they supposed to draw from the book?
Great question. I think one of the biggest questions that they get from the book, which I've known since I've been to many schools, is, Chale be bold, that once you are focused on something to achieve it, you will and you can achieve it. And that's also one of the first things that happens in the book, that after school, Amma and Euphoria, they go to the beach and they daydream. They're considered to be daydreamers. And they dream about their future lives. Euphoria wants to become a dancer, a professional dancer, national theater, with an audience clapping for her, and it's in her mind. And she actually works towards it, even at a young age. She saves money. She has a homemade shrine of other dancers, just so she motivates herself to. This is my talent and this is what I want to become. Even though she's shy to perform at the school
friend,
review.
Amma kept telling her that when you get in front of the students, you are shy, you're always dancing around and you want to appear before masses. How are you going to do that?
Exactly. And which is also good, because sometimes, you have to be realistic about things. How am I going to get there? If I cannot do a small performance at school, how will I get to the National Theatre? So sometimes when you tell people things, it's not, it's not being harsh. It's being, realistic and making them realize that, okay, try it on a small scale before you get it to a bigger scale.
So in this case, how can the parents help? Because there's this thing going on, even though it may seem old-fashioned, where parents think, I have done something, I've worked in a particular career, so you are supposed to also
follow.
Yeah, follow. And here's this child who wants to dance. So let's say her parents are not in agreement with what she wants to do.
Yeah.
Now, how best, as a parent, do you encourage your child's talents and let them know that maybe you don't have to not go to school. You can go to school, but go to school in this particular area. If it's music you want to do, go to a music school. If it's art you want to go to an art school. How do parents overcome that? Because since I wasn't able to become a lawyer or a judge, my child has to. Even though we think we are in modern times, it still persists.
Oh yeah, it still exists, and I think we have a long way to go. But I think the best way to do is to compromise, and because once the child shows you that this is really what you want to do, and you feel like, okay, but I want the child to also do this, you compromise, and that goes back to being in connection with the child, talking a lot, and getting the ideas. Because let's say that you are not connected with the child, and the child says, "Oh, I want to do this," then the parent most of the times will be like, I'm not too happy about it.
Okay, please hold the phone. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, dear. How are you?
I'm
Good morning.
fine. We are fine.
We are fine, thank you.
Your
And you?
name and where you're calling from, please.
Baby, I'm calling from Asin.
Okay, I sent for
All
Sue.
right. I want to make a little contribution
Sure.
about parents who want their children to do exactly what they couldn't do. If you wanted to be a doctor and you couldn't achieve that, I shouldn't do that for you. I think we should encourage our children to do what they want to do.
Yes.
Because there are a whole lot of children in universities, schools, offering courses that they are not interested in.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way. So you go to offices and there are people there, they are bored, they are pissed because they don't like what they are doing.
Correct.
There is no passion in that. They are forced to do it. So I think parents should be on guard on that. We should support our children. If only what they are doing isn't a bad thing, like stealing or any other thing. But if it's a good thing, we should support our children and stop, encouraging them to live our lives for us and our dreams for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, the phone lines are still activated. 0207 10001 is the number that you can call. 0207 10001. We're talking about bullying. We're talking about helping our children become the best that they can be. With the book It's Cold by Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. I like the name. It's cold.
Nice.
It's cold but
It's
not
cold,
it's cold.
If you want to say it's cool, you can do it too.
But it's
give-
cold is for adults. It's like when they are speaking the pidgin
Yes,
English, like
yes.
Charlie, it's cold. But
Yeah,
when the
yeah,
kids
yeah.
are like, it's cold,
I want people to make it their own.
their
So-
own.
so,
But it's
yeah.
about kids, so. the
Of
kids
course,
are like,
but
"It's
everyone can
cold,
relate because
Yeah,
the things
right.
that are happening in the book for the children in schools happens to adults as well in workplace. It doesn't stop
Okay.
at school.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone can relate to this story.
Okay, so now let's look at the title.
Hmm.
It's cold, though.
Yes.
Who are your audiences? With regards to the children, is it for the African child or it's
Yeah.
international? Because of the because
Yeah.
in the foreign dialect, some don't. When they talk,
Yeah.
they don't add these things.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to add the O to it? Is it targeted to a particular audience, continent? Why?
I actually wanted to introduce the O to to an international platform.
Okay.
Me being a Ghanaian,
yeah.
obviously I want to add the Ghanaian flavor to my writing. But I want people to, be
Okay.
exposed.
Sorry, we have a caller on the line. Another caller. Hello. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning. I'm Konakoto, speaking from
Okay.
Good morning,
caller.
sir.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I also want to add a little on the parent-child relationship.
Okay.
Sometimes parents don't get time for the children and it makes them look rejected. So, if the parents can have time with their children, discuss with them how they want to be in future, I think it can also be of support. Other than leaving them alone and making them take their own decisions sometimes. So the parent-child relationship is very important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, now he was talking about parent having time. I forgot to mention that sometimes it doesn't get better with making time because parents have to strive.
Oh yes.
They have to get this done, get that done. Are there some times the parents can take advantage of to be with their children? Like, how can they make the time? Because the time isn't so there. So how can you make the best out of what's there aside the gadgets and all?
Yeah, I mean, with the gadgets, we shouldn't rely on them. Definitely
yeah,
not.
yeah, definitely.
Because there are negative aspects to that too. But I feel as if just taking your time to construct good values that you pass on to your child, it goes a long way. And I mean, if you don't have a lot of time, then and it's because, let's say, work related, that you don't have a lot of time, you look at the loopholes. Look, Sundays, no work, we go to church. After we go to church, maybe we shouldn't just go home and go back to work. Maybe we should go to the mall, or maybe we should go here and sit and make Sunday like a full event from church somewhere else, and we just spend time because we have that time. Because what it will do, it will make the child feel that, oh, it's Tuesday, but I'm looking forward to Sunday, and Sunday will not only be going to church and then bam, it's finished. Because when you're in church, you are not talking to the child, you are listening to the pastor, to the preacher. So making it a full event, a day, is gives a lot. Even though it's just one day out of 7 days, it's a lot to make it like a full event. Because me, I remember even being young, my father didn't have a lot of time. He was doing his music things, driving taxi. He was, a multitasker, doing a lot of things. But we always had that, one day where, we went out, we went to the field sometimes, we had picnics, we did, and I always looked forward to that day. And usually it was a Sunday.
Wow, that's interesting. My dad was also available. He was hardly available, but the times he spent with us, it was, very cherishable. I couldn't wait to see him again after a hard day's work, or after he traveled. Saturdays and Sunday afternoons, they were the best times, I must say. Yeah, so now back to its code, before we find out where we can get the book to buy and how we can reach you.
Yeah.
So you were talking, before the caller called, you were talking about the title, introducing it to the international market.
I think it's very important that we share our language and how we talk in our Ghana, and market it to the world. The images of Africa as a whole, and especially in these days, in Donald Trump days, is seen as very negative. And it's always about the hardships and being poor, but that is not the full picture. It's like almost like you are just choosing one bit and magnifying it. So I'm always conscious about that in my writings. And I want people to know our slang as well. Because me going to Sweden like 5 months ago, and going to schools there and saying it's cool, though. And they are now saying it, and then chale be bold, like they are getting the linguistics of us, and it's great to share, because then they get other interests in our culture, and now with social networks, they will YouTube and see, okay, how does a school in Ghana look, and it sparks the interest of our culture, which I think is great.
Beautiful work. So now, before you go, where can we get the book to buy? How can we reach you? How much does it go for?
The books can be bought Book Nook bookstores in Tema, which is an online forum, but it's also stationed in Tema. You can get it right there, and it will come to you very quickly. And for you viewers who are outside of Ghana, it will be sent to you. So that is very handy. And if you happen to be in Sweden, which is the other country that the books are available, there's a place called Just Africa in Stockholm where you can purchase the books as well.
Okay. How much do they go for?
They go for 37 cities.
Okay, 37 cities.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. How can we reach you?
I'm reachable on my, social networks. You just type in "It's Cool Do," one word, and you can get me on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my email is mensahighlife@gmail.com. Mensa High Life, MENSAHIJHLIFE.
All right. Wow. So, viewers, we've looked at It's Cold Oh by Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. It's Cold Oh. It talks about bullying. It talks about how parents can have time with their kids. I mean, it's a whole lot of things. So you can just go to Facebook, type in It's Cold Oh, Instagram It's Cold Oh. You're gonna get more info, more details about the book. And in case you just tuned in, I'm sorry. You can go to our Facebook page, Precious TV, or the Book Review Show GH. Now let's all be encouraged to spend more time with our kids. Let's have time for them. Let's make time for them. And if we are not ready for parenting, as someone said, let's not start it at all. So it's been the Book Review Show right here on Precious TV with me, Caroline Owusu Asamoah, and we have looked at the book It's Cold Oh by Stevie Nii Adu-Mensah. For more details, you can call 0548-394-622 or 020343-8710. Repeat is tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. Same time tomorrow. So, bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Shout out to my crew. Thanks.
It's cool, yo.